Welcome to Chaotic Harmony. My name is John.
This is Crystal. We talk about the joys and the challenges of teaching music in the elementary school classroom.
We share struggles, we brainstorm solutions.
And we would love to have you join us.
Welcome to another episode of Chaotic Harmony. Today we are still on the road, just like we were last week, and we are in an amazing, if you're watching the video, amazing classroom.
Yes, amazing classroom.
If you are not listening, if you're not watching this, you should jump over to YouTube and also subscribe there, also while you're at it. But then also just check out this dope room.
Seriously.
Anyways, so
this is not a digital background. You might think that. You'd be forgiven for thinking that.
Yes, but also you will see we have two amazing guests. So we have Crystal Pridmore.
Complete stranger.
Yeah, total.
But we have Nora.
Yes, hello.
And Darlene.
What's up?
Awesome. And this guy here.
And they are the lovely ladies of the Coloring the Melody podcast. So we're thrilled to have a little crossover episode happening right now.
Because I think it was last year, was it? I don't remember.
Last year, which is what, 2018?
Yes, I think last year you had me on your podcast.
Yes, that was last year.
Yes.
Time is a flat circle. And now you're here. And we're on our podcast, which is awesome.
Coloring the chaotic melody and harmony.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'll give snaps to that.
Okay.
But since we have people who have never met you or haven't know you, how about we start with what we call the program notes.
Okay,
So how about we start with you, Nora? Who are you? Who are you?
Ooh.
And so who are you? What do you teach? And tell us about the community you teach in.
Yeah, tell us about
And
the
how long
magic
you
that
been
happens in this room.
Yes.
I should say, I am a Latina, and my full name is Nora Hernandez, and I teach at 2 dual immersion schools and 1 just regular elementary program. I'm a TKK teacher there, and the population is very different. So I would say this specific school site, I wouldn't say that it's like, how can I say? It's the pioneer of the dual immersion schools, I would say. And so this is where I had to write a Spanish music curriculum, which that was very tough because there's nothing out there. So I had to do a lot of research of that. Yeah. But then the other school sites that I teach at, it's a Title I school. So a lot of the kids that actually attend here, most of their parents are either involved in the educational system. They're teachers, or their kiddos are, how can I say? I don't want to sound too like
They're like involved in the community.
Yes, they're very involved in the community versus the other school sites. Well, the parents are learning about the educational systems and so forth.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to work at both school sites. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how long have you been teaching for?
6 years.
6 years. Awesome.
Yes.
And Darlene.
Stranger danger. No, I'm just kidding. Hi, everyone. My name is Darlene Machacon. I'm a Filipina music educator. I've also been teaching 6 years in this district. Same as Nora. We actually both got hired at the same time.
Yeah.
We were hired at a time when they needed, I think, 9 or 10 elementary music teachers. So we were very lucky to be part of that, I guess, like cohort. And all of those people that we started our program with, they all went to different districts or changed positions, things like that. And now it's just us two, which I mean, going strong.
I know.
Wow.
Right. And I also teach at 2 schools. My main school is a Vietnamese dual immersion program. I am not Vietnamese, and nor am I fluent. So I've been trying my best in trying to get to know the culture and be familiar with the nuances of the language and, different cultural aspects of that. And then the other school, I'm only there half time. I only teach 4th through 6th grade there, and it's a little bit more of a mixed demographic there. But I love them equally.
Awesome.
Yes.
Wow.
And remind me, the two of you went to university together, right?
Yes, we did.
Did everyone in that cohort go to university together, or not quite?
We were all different. We all came from different schools.
Okay, cool. So, but how'd you find this district then? Because the two of you were, working together in university and ended up the same district. That's cool.
Right.
Yeah. That is cool.
Our university had pretty good connections with this district. Like I actually did my student teaching here, and I actually did one of my first teacher observations here. And I just really loved how strong the music program is. I almost said was, as if it was a passing, but is.
Yeah.
And they just have a history of never getting rid of their elementary music programs. So yeah, I really.
That's nice to hear in Southern California.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. We like job security.
We sure do.
We do.
Yeah, and we like music in the hands of kids. Yeah.
Huh. Sorry, I'm just processing all that. That's really great. Like just the continuity and whatnot. So yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just curious, like, did you both want, like, just as you were going through your music education program, or first off, actually, did you have music education growing up? Actually, I have to stop there. Did you have music education? I think we talked about this.
Are you talking specifically like public music education, or talking about like
In your background as you were growing up, yes, an institutionalized school, whatever kind of education you had.
yeah. You want to go first?
No, you
Nora?
go first.
Fine. No, I did choir in high school.
Okay.
I don't really talk about this a lot, but I was actually homeschooled from
Okay.
kindergarten through 8th grade, and a lot of my music education in my early years was through my private piano lessons and being
Okay.
involved in church.
Okay.
So I didn't really get quote unquote institutionalized music, whatever,
Sure.
until high school.
Gotcha.
But from what I know about the elementary schools in my district, they didn't have elementary music there.
Similar
Yeah.
Yeah.
to us. Yeah. So.
Yeah, we didn't have it either.
Oh, by the way, we should actually say that we are not in San Diego at the moment.
We're not.
We're not
in
in LA
Orange
last week.
County.
We're in Orange County, exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
OC.
Still, I know. It's still in Southern California.
Yes.
Yeah. I once
SoCal.
called it the OC, and then my friend who was from Orange County was like, "Please never say that again." So I stopped.
I feel like I have to say the OC for people who like out of state, because they'll be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like that one TV show. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
right.
yeah, I totally live like on Newport Beach.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I don't. I do not live that lifestyle.
People don't realize how big like LA and Orange County and San Diego is. It's like we drove 2.5 hours today to
Yes.
go to go to LA. So there's a lot of California after LA people.
Mind you, I think 45 minutes was LA traffic.
Well,
so,
okay.
to get into account.
Fair.
And I
That's
can't even
fair.
say like, oh yeah, I'm from LA. I'm like, no,
No.
LA is like a different county entirely.
It's like a different universe.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
The freeways are different.
Yeah.
The signs are different. Just
Yeah.
like I don't know. So
the people.
the people are different too.
Uh-huh,
I even
yes.
noticed like what people wear
Yeah.
are different.
It's
Yeah.
true.
I mean, that's just me being observant.
Yeah, it's like 4 states down here. It's really interesting.
I mean, there's a reason why we're the I do know, third biggest state. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I remember my elementary school.
Oh,
Yep.
good job.
Thank you.
I know details are really important
It
to you. It's really
is.
sweet. I'm glad that one of us is that way.
Back to the topic.
Okay, what are we talking about again?
Nora, how about you? What was your public well, not public. How was your growing up
Just
music education? Yes.
Yeah. Well, I did not have a elementary music program nor junior high.
Okay.
So
junior
I know for me, I gained a passion for music through church. Yeah. So I know like. Well, first I was a drummer before singer. So yeah, fun fact. I was in drumline in high school, and then I got recruited for mocking some singers. You know, they were doing a scale.
Interesting.
Yeah, a solfege scale. So I started singing during my junior year of high school.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when I went to Biola, I kind of wanted to major in percussion, but I was like, well, if I want to teach chorus, then I should probably be a well-rounded music educator. So I was like, okay, then maybe I should probably do choir. But
Yeah.
So that mocking of a singer really led to you even wanting to do chorus
Yes,
in university.
exactly.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's so interesting that whenever we talk to a lot of music teachers who talk about how their main training came from growing up in church. And I know that was very true for me.
Yes.
And I worry about how that's changed. I'm going to take this. I'm going to go there.
Do
We've
it.
never
I'm
gone
because
there
I'm gonna
before.
go there with you. I'm gonna go there with
Okay,
you.
it really bothers me that it's become the community music making element of church has like kind of gone out of style. It's like all about like the rock star, like we got the smoke and the lights and the bass guitar rock style.
You have that Hillsong
church.
atmosphere. Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah.
and I take my little boys to churches, and I'm like, there's nowhere for them to grow up making music the way I did. I was put on a stage at 7 years old and like help lead my community in song. And that's how I learned how to sing like I mean it, you know, and put emotion into it. And if you don't have it consistently in schools, like where are kids supposed to get it? And
Seriously.
and making music as a community is so important to like proper development. So anyway, that's my soapbox.
No, I'm with you on that
Yes.
soapbox. I mean,
Yeah.
as much
Yeah.
as it can obviously sound like if you're not part of a church community, like it could sound like Crystal's being old man shouting at a cloud, but it's not. That's not the case. That's not the case, because like I think about where even music is going in the pop realm. It's very much this soloistic element, which is great. That's good that's there. But also, as you mentioned, like we learned music. Not me, but we learned music through the church, which was like people singing together. And having that opportunity, it's like too bad that it's kind of fleeting.
It's weird now to go like sing out in church, and like when I go to places, like people will turn around and be like, "Oh, you have a great voice." I'm like, "You should be sounding loud enough that you don't hear me. Like, join me. This is not a show." You know,
this is supposed to be us singing liturgy together.
It is.
Yeah. I do see like, people would, stand with the rest of the congregation, and then they would, sing, well, not sing, more like participate in the music making by just standing and listening, which I feel like is a valid thing. But going off the topic of like learning music through the church is like, that's where I got most of my ear training from, learning how to, like play by chords and harmonize. And a lot of the piano, I guess pianistic skills that I use right now is all based on, just seeing a bunch of chords on a lyric sheet and then figuring out what worked best with the band. And I didn't learn anything like that in my private piano lessons. And so like that was probably one of my most favorite ways of making music on the piano. And sometimes that's what I do if I'm like, well, I can't read all the notes on this page right now, but I can figure out the chord structure and the vibe of the song. But I didn't learn that through my classical lessons growing up. It was all through working with other older kids who taught me to play in that way. So I credit a lot of my performance skills from being in the church. And then even when I joined these mega churches where they would have this wild setup and learning how to play with like a track and all that, and just learning how to play in that style, I would have never gotten that opportunity if I didn't go for it. And like I think there's a lot of value in having our kids be involved in the music opportunities that there are in the church, if they even have that. Like sometimes I'll find churches that they have children's choirs, or they have like the mini like worship teams where they have little 10-year-olds playing the guitar, which is really sweet. But not every community is like that.
It's not. It's really rare. And the older I get too, the harder it is to find a place that wants me on stage anymore. And like I've been flat out told you're not the right style to lead music at our church. I have, and I think about like kids in our schools. I know my kids. I'm generalizing here, but I also teach in a Title I school. I teach right by the border, and I feel like so many of my students don't know what it means to make music as a community, and that is that's a birthright of ours as humans. Like for as long as there have been humans, we've been gathering together and making music, and it makes you feel so good, and like you belong. So I want my kids to have that, and so that's why I like promote that in music class, try to make that part of the school community. Anyway, this I went way I went way off there.
It's chaotic harmony.
I know I didn't plan this. Not on your little list. I know.
Coloring the chaos.
But it's a problem, and it needs to be fixed.
It is a problem.
Yeah.
We've talked so much about Orff on our podcast, and the element of communal singing, and it doesn't need to happen in Orff exclusively, but singing out at church can be a place where people can come together to sing communally. And now it's just very much everyone look at the rock stars on top. Right. You lose that element, and like
it ain't right.
So just curious, like I know this is not where we're going, but we'll go there. Yeah. What kind of churches was it big or small churches that you grew up in?
Mine's a big church.
Big
it's
church?
a Pentecostal church. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I grew up in a, well, it depends on your definition of medium size.
Of course.
Yeah, so it was a church growing up. I think it was about 200 to 300 people, but I've grown up there, so I knew everybody. And then when I moved down to Southern California, then I actually was involved in a very tiny church plant, like 30 people, and then transitioned to mega church status, and that was just totally new for me, just being part of bigger communities there. So I got to see a big range of what leadership is like, and how organization is like with those communities, and how they also organize the music there, it's really interesting because you mentioned the whole like rock star Hillsongy vibe, and I noticed that you start to see like what the churches try to do. They follow what's trending in the current songs and all that, and
the current filter of the culture, not even the current culture, the current filter of the culture.
And I also I remember taking a class in college because we both went to a Christian university, and this wasn't a required course for me, but I was interested in taking it. It was all about the foundations of worship, and I remember there was a day where we talked about looking at the lyrics and like seeing if it was more self-centered versus other different things, and it came to the point where in church I was just like analyzing the music, and I'm like, oh my gosh, now I'm just like distracted all the time. Like I would be like, oh, like that drum solo was totally unnecessary, or like, and I'm just like, I gotta like not be. Like,
Do you feel it's beneficial?
Analyzing the drum solos, or
yes. I'm gonna say, I'm looking for yes, no.
Oh well, beneficial. Like, what do you mean by that?
I don't know. Again, I love that we're going this way and just then playing it, but that's fine.
I know. Hard right turn.
I don't know. I think it's good that we do analyze the pieces of songs that we sing, whether it's in the church or it's in the classroom that we're in. Like, I think there's something to be said about, let's bring it into the secular realm as well. Like, there's something to be said about the rounds that we sing. There's something to be said about the songs we sing for worship. And I feel like in the church realm especially, the focus is more the atmosphere, as we were talking about earlier, the Hillsong atmosphere, and as opposed to really thinking about are the words liturgically, are the words theologically good?
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if that's what the class offered or not.
Yeah, kind of like that, and just. I mean, this was also so long ago too, and I'm also being mindful of like, oh, who's listening right now, and they're going like, what are they talking about? I guess I'll like listen to another episode now. I'm just kidding. Please don't. Please stay. Please stay. We're awesome.
We're good people. I promise.
We'll get off the church train in a minute. Don't worry.
We're getting to getting to our stop. But yeah, I think like especially as a musician, and then just going through courses where we were trained to kind of think of that, it has been kind of difficult to kind of like to step out of that, because that's just what we do as musicians. We can't help but like think of the structure and all that.
1 5 4 5.
Right, exactly.
Wait, there's no fives in the song.
Exactly. Or I'm like, oh, do they really have to repeat this sentence over? And here comes another crescendo. Okay, like that typical like repeat the same phrase over and over again, which I get the intention for. But at the same time, like sometimes my brain is like, oh my gosh, we've sung this phrase probably 20 times already. I think God up in heaven gets what we're saying. But that's
he hears us. I think we're good.
Yeah. But that's it is what it is.
I think it's like going back to like the shift towards like rock star stuff, right? I think that it's like this self-perpetuating cycle that we have, because music in schools is not normalized. It's just not, especially at the elementary level.
Especially in California.
People don't get our jobs. They don't get what we do. Correct. And parents don't get what we do. We always got it. We have to educate them. That's part of our jobs.
Yes.
And if you don't grow up not being a music maker anywhere in church or school, then that's not for you. That's for the rock stars that you listen to on the radio. And I know we both started programs in Chula Vista after they hadn't had music ed for 35 years. That's part of our story. And I remember getting my first batch of 6th graders, and they had never heard kids their age sing before. Because they grew up listening to like hip hop or whatever, And so I put on like age appropriate like children's choirs singing stuff for them, and they left. They never heard it before.
Right, because it was just different.
Yeah, and I would be like, we're going to sing this song. They're like, we're going to do what? Excuse me?
And even the kids that they do listen to are Kids Bop, which has been which it's processed. Let's be real here.
It is. It's like auto-tune all the way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I've been on a mission to make just singing normal. So we sing every morning at my school. I'm just wondering, has that popped up for you guys here in your schools too? Is music part of the DNA of your kids outside of school?
Well, for me, I would have to say yes.
Yeah.
A lot of the teachers at both school sites, both dual immersion schools, they use a lot of Jose Luis Orozco. I know, he's amazing. And he's a Hispanic composer for songs in Spanish for kids. And a lot of school sites that speaks predominantly in Spanish, that's who they go for. So what I've tried to like implement is they sing hello, goodbye songs, buenos dias, buenos dias, and then the goodbye songs too. So I normalize it here. So for them, it's just it's so normal, because also too, at least the community that I serve, they sing a lot of Spanish songs. I think it's for them it's normal to like do a dance and hear. So music is very alive. So I think for me it's a blessing in disguise that I just get to contribute to that,
Yeah, get to take it to the next level.
Yes, exactly. So
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah.
So Nora shared hers. Did you want to add on to that?
Yeah. How about your kiddos, Darlene?
I think it depends on the school culture, the community. I noticed one school, like, they'll sing out if it's a pop song they know, even if they're completely out of tune, they'll sing out anyways. And then I noticed that at the other school, I noticed just over the years, they just tend to be a little bit more reserved with their voice, or their interests lie in more instrumental music making, which is totally valid too.
Definitely.
But I've noticed that, and I've just gone, you know what? I've accepted it. I think other people be like, oh my gosh, Darlene, like your chorus is so small, or like, what's happening? I'm like, you know what? That's just the vibe of this school, and I'm gonna run with it. If they really like making music with instruments with their hands, I'm gonna take advantage of that. And I think that's important to really notice students' strengths and their preferences, and just have fun with that.
Yeah. Well,
Also,
and you can't ask them to take risks until they feel successful, like in your classroom. Yeah.
Exactly.
And also adding on to that, like the fact that you're only one person.
Yeah, I'm only one person.
And
Right.
if anything, it's not a failing on you, it's a failing on the system. There's not enough music teachers to help.
Yeah.
the
One
other-
person at two schools.
is
That's
a
a
lot.
lot.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many kids? How much time do you see with your kiddos?
30 minutes, not counting all the transitions that happens.
Nora, how about you?
That's
Same.
quick.
Same.
Yeah.
30 minutes.
That's normal in our district.
How many
Okay.
kids are in your school per school, more or less?
Well, I teach like overall
Uh-huh.
1,000 kids.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
same.
okay.
Almost
Yeah.
1,000.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
30.
I did that for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, we got big numbers in California.
We do. We do.
I mean,
It's just insane to me. It's like you would never expect there to be one reading teacher at a school. But they do that to the specials all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the fact that we're specials as well is
Ah,
supposed to be
that's that too.
mundane. One
Yeah.
of my goals, similar to you, Crystal, like, I want to make music mundane. Not like where it's like boring, but that it's so common that it's just normal, like reading, mundane, you know?
Right.
So
Right.
special is not the way to go, though. But,
Yep.
Yeah.
well, something I've noticed, Darlene and also Nora, but both of you have a pretty strong presence on social media.
Presence?
Yeah.
I'm totally omnipresent. You know what I mean? No.
First off, what inspired you to take what inspired you to
Slow down.
take to TikTok and Instagram?
Talking to me?
I mean, if you want to rock paper scissors shoot, you can decide who goes first, but it's to you both y'all.
I mean, I think for me, it was just mainly to. Well, at first, it started with Instagram, and because with my personal Instagram, I was following all my friends and all that, and then I was starting to notice there were more music teacher accounts, and then it would just starting. I just needed to organize it all,
Okay.
like my personal life and then my music teacher inspiration. So that was the main reason why I thought I need to have a separate account for that. And it's, for me at least, it started off as just like documenting like my process of being a teacher, sharing what I've been doing, and then also just building connections with others. And then it started to unfold as, like, I got something to say and I'm gonna say it. So and then just kind of went into that, and I thought, well, another way of advocating for music education is using platforms like that. And yeah, and I find a lot of creativity and a lot of fun with it too. But I also, another common question I get is like, oh, Darlene, how do you like maintain it and all that? I'm like, well, I don't necessarily have to maintain it. I mean, some people say like, oh, that it's like having another job, because there are people who have, who are get paid to maintain social media accounts. And for me, like, I do it whenever I want to do it, or when I'm feeling really pent up about a certain situation. Okay, here we go. So that's what I think is the beauty of having a teachergram, and number one, like connecting with other teachers, sharing
Definitely.
ideas and resources, and then that's what I've been enjoying about that.
What's been one of the most interesting connections you've made through social medias? I don't know if you have.
What do you mean by
like
interesting?
connecting with someone that you didn't think you would connect with, be it another teacher or be it someone outside.
Unexpected.
Unexpected.
Yes.
I'm not sure. That depends on what you mean by unexpected.
Has it taken you anywhere that you didn't expect? No?
I guess I didn't expect it to, like, I didn't expect to get more speaking opportunities from it. I didn't
Okay.
expect
There you
to, meet other music teachers in person, connect with other teachers. I also didn't expect to get weird DMs from people who want to unload many. Okay, that's really vague. I think some people don't realize that we are humans on the other side. And for me, not trying to brag or anything, but I do get several, sometimes dozens of DMs a day from like teachers I connect with constantly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, of course I'm going to maintain that. And occasionally, I mean, not all the time, I will get really long DMs from people who like say, oh, I would like to ask your opinion on this, and like almost in a consultant kind of way. And for me, I was like, I can't, like, first of all, if I really want to help that person,
Yeah.
I need to take the time to know their teaching situation, their philosophy, and things like that. And I can't do that through a DM.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's just a common misunderstanding for some people.
Definitely.
And there came a point where I just had to have a boundary set
Yes.
up
Sure.
because
Yep.
I couldn't do that. And that wasn't, for me, that's not how I saw my teachergram. I saw it as an opportunity to share. Like, I share what I can. I put it in the caption. I put it in the highlight. And then, like, that's it. That's all you're going to get. If you want more help, then I'm sorry. Maybe you're going to have to pay up. I don't know, because my time is value.
Right,
It
I have
is,
family.
yes.
I have friends. But that's just not, like, I didn't even realize that was a thing until I got into the position myself. So I've even made the mistake in the past where I would, be like, hi person on the other side. Like, what do you think of this? But, like, I didn't realize how much time and energy it took. And so that's something I also didn't expect, that I had to be like, no. Like, I see your concern, but unfortunately I'm gonna have to ignore your DM or just say, sorry, this is out of my bounds. And I don't want to be that person to be like, pay up. I don't want to be that person either.
I think that's valid though, because
Really?
I do, because you're positioning yourself as an expert in your field, like you're
expert.
I mean, well, you are.
You are.
I own
That's
it.
true.
You are. Like, you're a
Yes,
voice. You
you
have
are,
your
friend.
podcast. You're you put quality things out there, which is why people are attracted to you. And we don't have to give everything away.
Yeah.
I think that's a mistake I made a lot early on, because I just want everyone to love me. And so it's like, well, of course you can have everything that I've poured my time, energy, heart, soul, sweat into. And it's like, you have to have those boundaries, because you can't give away all of your personal time.
Right.
And you deserve to be paid for your expertise that is hard won.
And that's like, I've noticed a big big movement, more or less, for like a lot of music teachers that are posting their Venmo. Like, it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're gonna help us out, if you want me to offer so much, here, help me out by
Right. And I
Right.
don't think that these free social media platforms are the appropriate place to be offering a consultancy
Yeah,
level.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's a lot of labor.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it doesn't help that, during the we were kind of at the tail end of the pandemic, crossing fingers, knock on wood.
I know, right?
I'm knocking all the wood with the trees.
Right now.
We're just gonna start making a ruckus here. It's so chaotic. No, okay.
and colorful.
Like right when March 13th, 2020 hit, that's when everybody was like, oh my gosh, we need all the resources. We need to share everything. So I think there was this culture that developed where, like, well, if you create something, you need to share it. And I think just teachers in general are such giving people.
Right.
Right. But I mean,
It's for the children.
It's for the children. Oh, I have a lot to say on that. Let me flip the hair in the back. But yeah. Well, I mean, like, because I'm just like, okay, here we go. I'm about to get started. Here we go.
Hold
but
my hoops.
I'm just hoops, not me.
I know.
But the whole, I guess, trying to find that boundary, and just because we say no to helping someone out doesn't mean that it depends on the person you're talking to, because that's also tough when I'm like, you know what? No, I'm sorry, I'm not interested in helping you, unless there's a relationship built there.
Right. Right.
There have been times where I've been asked to maybe speak for an organization or like speak for a collegiate NAFME group or whatever, and I'd be like, well, my rate is this, but I mean, and sometimes like, no, it's for free, and like, like I understand that budgets are hard, but I'm like, I could be using that free time to be with my husband or to catch up with a friend.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah.
So setting boundaries is important. Is that why you sent me the wrong number?
No, it's because I wasn't. Okay, I will be honest. Okay, are you ready? Okay, speaking of, this is a good example. So, for me in my personal life, I've been trying to, really find the balance between spending time with my family and work life. And for me, like, it has always been ingrained to just like work. Like, that has been something I've been constantly trying to unlearn, and that has been like saying no or saying yes to this.
Yeah.
So when I was DMing you, John, I was supposed to, that evening I was actually supposed to stay home, work on a presentation that I knew I had to finish up, but instead I chose to watch my husband play basketball, which I had never seen him do ever. Like, and I have known him since he was in high school, and I had never seen him play basketball. And I'm just like, really, am I really considering saying no to watching him play? So there I was, just like sitting in the bleachers going, oh my gosh, look at him go. So of course I'm like not really paying attention to my thumbs, therefore sending you the wrong number and you texting someone
If
entirely
you are perhaps a listener of Chaotic Harmony and you received a text from me just messaging Darlene, and I apologize
That's
and
funny.
want to talk, let's talk. No, actually.
Jonathan.
But
Never
yes,
mind.
that is my little. But that's my little like tidbit of like, hey, if
Yeah.
you know, for me, because working in that presentation, obviously it was work,
Yep.
but I thought my time being with my family is more important because
Yeah.
work is work, but
It will always
you know,
be there.
right.
Yeah.
So that's my
That's
encouragement
good
to everybody.
stuff.
Mhm.
That's good stuff.
And that's okay if you send the wrong number to someone. When you-
if they're a
Twice.
true.
Oh yeah, because I sent the wrong one to
She made you work
Crystal.
for it.
Crystal got the wrong number.
Yeah, I know.
So I guess I should never give my number away, which is 555. Just kidding.
Oh, good one.
Classic
Good one.
guy.
She went with the movie phone number. I like that.
Of course.
Nora, how about you?
Well,
Are you on social?
I am, but
Yeah.
I would say I'm not as fully as involved.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I started a teachergram was because of coloring the melody, and I had talked to Darlene, like, what do you think, should I do it? And she actually was the one that's saying, like, I think it would be best if you have like a teachergram and a personal Instagram, just to separate both. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So I think I'm always on and off, like on Instagram. And I told her, I was like, I feel really bad that I don't like create a lot of contents because
She has a good reason.
yeah, I do have a good reason. But yeah, because a lot of people want to know about like dual immersion schools or just like Spanish content, So for me, it's just like I want to help the community, but I think one of the things that I have to focus right now is my family and also my educational journey, and just be present right now with the season I'm in. So I feel like I told her that's one of the other reasons why we apologize that there hasn't been no coloring the melody episodes, but it's because in this season I really just have to be focused and be present in what I'm going through right now. So
Yeah.
but
That's
Yeah,
so
so-
important.
yeah, it is.
We're a whole people.
Yes.
And when we have the time and energy, our projects will still be there for us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 So it goes along with setting
Boundaries.
boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so important because it's like you want to help people.
Yes.
Because like we were saying, we are teachers that care about others, but I feel like if I'm not really focusing on me, I know it sounds so selfish, then I can't teach with excellence to my kids.
Yep.
And in this season, my kids need me, my family needs me, and I also need to focus on my educational journey. So
Yeah.
like the hangouts that I always have, even with Darlene, are just like, I'm so sorry, I have to work on research and so forth. And
That's what you
she,
gotta do.
yeah,
Yeah.
And she's a big support system there. I don't know for the listeners, but my father passed away last year, and that has been really hard. So I think, and then I am like the financial provider for my family. So for me, it's just like, like it's okay for me to just live life day by day and
Yes.
find, have grief and joy at the same time, and
Yes.
yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
that's me.
We are not robots. you
We're
know?
not,
I
we're
think
not.
we have all of these things pulled on us and demanded of us. And
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm finding a lot more strength in just saying no. I'm gonna take some time to rest, and especially in SoCal, the hustle
Yes.
culture.
Oh yeah.
No more of that. And when, because the day will come when you will be ready to create again.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
when you do, I hope that you put it on a platform where we can pay you for your hard work, and
Yeah.
not give it away for free.
Yeah.
On social media. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, that goes kind of into my next question. Like, just the notion of burnout's been really
big the past 2 years for
Sure
obvious
has.
reasons.
Yeah.
We talk about boundaries. That's definitely one element of making sure burnout does not occur. Have you found any other ways that you have you seen anything else in your lives or other people's lives that have helped combat burnout?
Letting a lot of things go that are beyond our control. Which, I mean, sounds so like, oh yeah, that's just like the go-to answer for everything. But it really is. Like, I've noticed that in my early years of teaching, I was just like, oh my gosh, everything is my fault. Everything has to do with me. I have to make a difference. And then it's like, no, I do not. I am not the completely responsible for the well-being of this child. Like, I'll do what I can in this classroom, but other circumstances that happened before that kid came into, and then whatever's going to happen after is not within my control. And just like resting in that is like, oh, okay. If that makes any sense.
Oh, it makes so
It
much
sure
sense. And it's
does,
hard to
yes.
accept. Like
Yes.
for me, similarly, I care about my kids. I know all of us at this table do care about our kids.
Yeah.
Deeply.
And early John Seligman, still current John Seligman, like I want to make sure that they have what they need. And it's just, as I mentioned to you earlier, it's not a failing on me, it's a failing on the system.
Right.
And I want to be a proponent to make sure that system changes. But like, again, I'm just one person.
Right.
Right.
So between the four of us at this table, you teach about 1,000 too, you think?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so we teach almost 3,000 kids between the four of us.
Yes.
So
So much.
that's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And when you've got four people who, give our hearts and souls and our passion to our jobs, like if we gave it all away and we, allowed that to suck us dry, then we wouldn't last.
Yeah.
And also, like, that's assuming that once they leave our school, they're going to be, whole. Like, they're
Right,
not. It's
right,
a continual
right,
process.
right.
It's not going to end with us on the negative end, but also on the positive end. Like, there's going to be someone else to pick them up.
Right. And I think what doesn't really help is like, especially when you are just starting your teacher prep program or you're starting to be a teacher, like it's kind of instilled like, oh, you are going to change lives, you're going to make a difference.
Right.
And like, unfortunately, unless you have really fantastic professors or mentor teachers who will give you reality right away, like your initial perception of what quote unquote changing lives is super idealistic. There's no dose of, oh, like you can try to make a difference, but you're going to have to deal with IEPs, you're going to have to deal with behavior problems, you're going to have to deal with admin who may not support the music program. And then you're going to question, am I really making a difference? Am I really changing lives? When in reality, you really are, but it's not going to be in this fun, rainbowy
It's
kind
not
of...
a movie.
Yeah, it's not a movie. And it
Yeah.
doesn't help when, like, there are movies that are like, look at this teacher, like, changing, quote unquote, changing lives in this way, or like you'll go watch the news and you see these teachers like, staying super late after school and doing, like, we see the glorification of teachers going beyond their contract hours, doing more and more, but we really don't see the focus on teachers who are setting their boundaries.
Yeah.
Like the teachers who leave right when they at the end of their contract time because they want to spend time with their family. You never really see the focus on that.
No.
And I think we're starting to see a shift in that because teachers are leaving.
Yeah.
We're
Yep.
seeing teachers really advocate, like, at least for me, I see it like on social media, like, we gotta say no because it's been too long. But then I also think about, where did this mindset of like, oh, we have to do everything come from? I'm like, where's that coming from? Okay, we're definitely going a different direction. I see your brain.
Do we want to go there in a part two?
Ooh, part
I
two.
was going to segue to there, but I would no. What I have to say is actually
I went
something
there
that.
first.
Congratulations! You want a cookie?
Yes.
I am. So the thing is, it's something we've been kind of hinting towards each time.
Each
So
time.
the C ends with capitalism.
Oh, okay.
So
I was like, apples?
apples. Yeah. No, it's. I mean, I think about also recently when you're mentioning that, my graduating ceremony, my professor, the professor that spoke for the graduating ceremony, his name is Doc Wood. Great guy. And his notion was like, everyone tells you at these speeches that you're going to change the world.
Sorry.
You are going to, you don't need to apologize. And he says, almost every one of you is just going to have a normal job. No one's going to change the world unless you think about the small things that you do every day. And I think it's time for us to stop thinking about teachers like those heroes who end up being martyrs.
Yeah.
To be honest, who just spend so much time, and in the end, when they are martyred, is the system there to back them up? No.
Nope. Nope.
And so it's important for us to think of our jobs less as like the big heroes, but more instead as a community that we can lean on to each other to change the system.
That's right.
But I agree with you, Crystal. I think there's a two-parter here.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
So
Okay.
after the break, we got Spiccato.
I want to take a quick break and thank my husband, Bryan, who's been working behind the scenes producing these episodes every week on all of the platforms and on time. But you need to know that he is first a financial planner for Mission Trails Financial. Mission Trails Financial is a partner that seeks to guide clients in the journey to financial success. They believe that people need a financial advisor that aims to provide strategies for success. Mission Trails Financial helps people navigate investments, tax planning, and insurance. Imagine working with an advisor who isn't tied to specific brands. Mission Trails Financial has a fiduciary responsibility to act in the best interests of their clients by providing independent, objective advice. Their mission is to help clients accomplish their financial goals. As Joe Vitale once said, a goal should scare you a little and excite you a lot. Do yourself a favor and set up a time to chat with Mission Trails Financial. Visit www.missiontrailsfinancial.com or call 619-419-0238 to schedule a call. You'll be glad you did. We believe that leaning on professionals is how we get ahead. Check out the program notes for more information.
And welcome back from the break, but you know the drill. We're going to do a hard left turn. Thank you so much for everyone who's been listening to this, to you two also who've been listening to this as well. It's funny, actually. When I reached out to you, y'all, I don't know who responded first. I think it was you, Darlene, but I don't know who responded first to the email. You said, I said, like, listen to your podcast, blah, blah,
okay.
blah.
It's me.
And then it's, oh, yeah, you're part of Chaotic Harmony. Like, what?
Yeah, I was like, oh, yeah, I listen to your podcast all the time. And I was like, what?
See, that's the cool thing about this community. That's the cool thing about this community. It reaches out, people are listening, and people have sent emails, and we've joined podcasts. But this only gets bigger if you hit the like button. I mean, it's how the algorithms work. So please make sure you leave us a review. Just like, I'm surprised. This is number 2. I did not have this ready, but I'm going to do a quick little switch. And, oh, who dis? Drubis. Drubis left us 5 stars. Thank you, Drubis. And he says, I'm guessing that I don't know. They. Crystal and John are voices of reality and passionate perseverance in a challenging time. If you are a music teacher for a school full of learners navigating all the challenges that presents in your professional and personal life, this podcast will give you a sense of connection and kinship with kindred spirits. Holy fudge nuggets of oats. That's very kind of you. Aw. Oh, there's more. There's more. Wait.
There's more.
But wait. That part was not in the review. 10 stars in my book. And then he shoots out 10 stars. Unless there's more than 10 stars. I'm assuming it's 10 stars. And then he says, I'm so grateful for the gifts of every episode. Thank you, Crystal and John. You're rock stars.
Oh,
well, thank you,
You
Drubis.
too, Drubis.
Thank you. So please leave us a review on any podcast listening app. It helps spread this community bigger. And as mentioned in episode 1, this is episode 1. As mentioned already, stop the car, hit the like button on the subscribe button on YouTube if you don't watch the video. Thank you so much. Now for Spiccato.
Time for Spiccato. So Nora, this is from your classroom, so you should tell us what it is. The little fuzzy.
The fuzzy fuzz.
Little fuzz fuzz. It's a chick.
It's a tiny chick.
It's a little Easter chickie.
Yes.
Cute, not to be confused with the little peep candies.
No.
Yeah.
It's the microwave.
Those are creepy.
So, what would we
pollito,
do
right?
with
El
a chick? Pollito.
Sí.
Sí.
Oh, un
Oh.
juego.
Juego?
A game.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh.
What
Right?
would you do?
Oh.
But we're all going to come up with different ideas.
Yes.
Oh, well,
That's a
I sing the song Los Pollitos.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a very fun activity. So you do like it's a circle game, and you sing the song, and then whoever has the chick stands up, and they try to,
Oh, kind of like Duck Duck Goose?
kind of like Duck Duck Goose.
okay.
Yeah. So then the
Cute.
kids really
Duck, duck,
love it,
chicken.
and they're also singing the song. So it's a really fun way for the kids to
So when the
actually
song
learn
stops.
the kid who has the chick, they are the ones that stand up, and then they have to run. So it's, how can I explain it? I can explain it in Spanish.
Ooh,
but
you should do it.
Do it in Spanish. Say it. Say it in Spanish.
Because most of my instructions with the kiddos is in Spanish.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's a dual immersion
Right.
school.
That's fine,
But
go
then,
for
it.
and fun fact about Nora, I think in Spanish. So then I'm translating what I'm saying
wow.
in my mind to English.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's a fun fact, but it's hard sometimes. That's why I was telling Darlene. I was like, sometimes I just speak so fast.
Yeah.
It's the Latina side of me. I was like, oh wait, maybe I should like slow down a little bit and process what I'm actually saying.
I gotta do that too.
Yeah. Same. Yeah.
Okay, but basically, it's a circle game, and what you do is you pass the chick with the kids, and then whoever has the chick at the end, they stand up, then they choose a person to chase them, and then that person has to try to catch the other guy or the little kid, and then they get to sit down. Then that little kid starts the song, and then you keep passing it.
So is it like Duck Duck where they have to run all the way around and sit back down before the other person?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Love those games.
Got it.
Yeah, and they love it too.
Yeah.
I bet they do. Do you mind singing the song a little bit?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
I know.
Okay.
I put you on the spot.
I know. It goes. Los pollitos dicen pío 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 cuando tienen hambre, cuando tienen frío.
They're
and then-
cold and hungry. Help them.
And
That's us right now.
I know.
That's us.
Oh yes, but there's three versions for it, but that's the first
That's so
little
cute.
version. Yeah, so cute.
Well,
This-
why
this
did you
is
go
heft.
first? Like now we gotta follow up with it because we all have to create some different activities.
This has a surprising weight to
Is it
it.
weight?
I didn't
Oh,
expect
oh.
it. Yeah. Okay, so because it's weighted, it could be very soothing. This is very basic, and this is not a music application.
Yes.
But I have little critters all over my classroom.
Okay.
And
Wait,
I
people
was
or critters?
Live critters?
well, I have lots of children in my classroom all the time, but no, like my parents were puppeteers, and I have an abnormally strong attachment to cute stuffed things. So I just have lots of stuffed animals and lots of puppets in my class, and they make an appearance, and they're all very real to me. I never really grew out of thinking my stuffed animals were real. You know, like
Yeah.
I still kind of believe that they
Yep,
come
yep,
alive at
same
night.
here.
You
Of
know?
course they do.
Same here.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Glad we're all on the
Toy
same
Story
page.
affected us, man.
I really.
That's why
no.
there are 4 movies.
Like it was but way before Toy Story.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay,
Same.
like
Pre-Toy Story
I
times.
know. I'm 80s child all the way. So I was thinking about how I have a little owl in my classroom that's about this big, and I have a little boy who it's hard to get him to come join us sometimes. He's got some trauma, and and it's just and he's very sensory, so the noise sometimes,
Yeah.
but he doesn't always like to wear the headphones to help him with the noise. So one way that I can get him to come sit with us is to have him take care of the baby owl. I'll say, like, well, Owlet's feeling scared today. Will you come hold Owlet and come sit next to me for music? And sometimes it works.
Okay.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. I have something similar to that in my classroom.
Yeah.
So I have this kind of like sum shaped Mickey Mouse. I don't know. The sum is like the design of that sausage shaped. I'm not sure if sausage is the right word, but like they're kind of shaped in that way of like all these Disney characters, and they don't really make the stuffed versions as much anymore.
Okay.
But I remember there's this so we call it TK, it's short for transitional kindergarten.
Yeah.
It's a California thing for the people who are like, why is TK? So yeah, that's like not sound kindergarten. It's
Preschool, they're
actually
little.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I remember there's this one specific cohort where I always brought like that particular Mickey Mouse for games, like everything, like keeping the steady beat and all that. And so I remember there was this one kid in that class who was like, oh my gosh, I just really want to hold Mickey. I'm like, okay, all right. Go for it. And then years passed, and then we had the pandemic, and now that kid's in 3rd grade, and that stuffy is still there, alive and well. And every time he comes in the music room, he's like, can I just hold Mickey Mouse? I'm like, sure, because you've known Mickey since you were 4. Why not?
Yeah.
I have 5th graders who are like, hey, I remember him.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Nice.
he's definitely like, getting all roughed up now.
They
so
get
Loved.
attached. They
yeah,
do.
they do. So
Yeah.
it's sweet to have those stuffed
Yes.
animals.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Your turn.
Oh wow, there is a wait.
Right?
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Maybe he has been eating some ramen recently.
Oh, maybe.
Ramen
It's a
does sound
well-fed
good.
chickie. Oh my god, it does.
Ramen sounds good right now. So I feel like what I'd do is something very Fire Robin-esque. Like I'd have the chickie. We do a bit of arioso. So
Okay.
chickie would like, cheep 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 cheep. And so it'd be like a way of neutral.
Cheep. Like
Cheep 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 cheep
cheep.
cheep cheep cheep.
Cheep, cheep, cheep.
But don't copy me. So
I
like,
don't
so
copy.
so it's an
So
element
it's
of
a
creation.
conversation.
It's a conversation,
Okay.
exactly.
So we're speaking chick. Like
So I
he's
would have-
asking me questions and I'm answering. Huh?
Cheep, cheep, cheep,
Cheep, cheep, cheep, cheep.
cheep, 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 cheep.
Cheep, 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 cheep,
Cheep,
cheep.
cheep, cheep.
Mhm. Cheep, 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 cheep.
That's what usually devolves to.
Yeah,
But some
Too bad you don't
face.
Too bad you
was
don't
prime.
have like the video because I'm just like,
What is
going
happening?
on right now?
Welcome to Chaotic
What are
Harmony.
these San Diegans doing? So that's what I would do. I'd do a form of aria.
I
So.
like it, I like
tend
it.
to judge a lot.
Choop, 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 choop.
It's about getting the kids comfortable with their singing voices.
Yeah.
So
That's your vocal
adopt a-
inspiration.
Yes.
Yep.
Adopt a silly voice. I like it.
I'm gonna do that.
So round of the
Monday,
week.
there you go. Monday lesson plan right there.
Alright.
Done.
I'd like that.
It's time for a round of the week. Round of the week. This is a choir warm-up round called Let Us Endeavor. So I'll sing it, we'll sing it together, and then we'll round it up.
Hold up. Loading
Hold
screen.
up. Going. You got time. I'm going to sing
Oh,
it.
it's through text, not through
Let
email.
us endeavor to show that whenever we join in a song, we can keep time together. So let us endeavor to show that whenever we join in a song, we can keep time together. So let us endeavor to show that whenever we join in a song, we can keep time together. So let us endeavor to show that whenever we join in a song, we can keep
Let
time
us endeavor to show that whenever we join in a song, we can keep time together. So let us endeavor to show that whenever we join in a song, we can keep time together.
One.
Oh, thank you very much. Awesome. This was a great conversation, and you will be.
I was like,
Too bad the video is not working.
This is why I need to bring better batteries, more batteries.
I
My
love
apologies.
this. This
But
is
alas.
great.
We are gonna have Nora and Darlene for part 2 in a bit, but if and for some reason you don't, no, right now, if you want to reach out to them now, and so just wait before instead of waiting for the next episode, how can they reach out to you, or do you have something you want to plug?
Plug. Well, I need to plug in my charger because
I hear that.
yeah, if people want to reach out to me, they can send pigeons. Oh, I'm totally kidding again.
To which address? P.O. Box.
No, yeah. If you are on the socials,
I just got an image of a pigeon stuffed in a pea.
oh dear.
Little feet sticking out.
He just like and the chick voice that you just
Oh gosh, that's
Sorry. Oh my god.
We're a hot mess.
We are.
we need ramen. That's
We
what
need
ramen.
this.
ramen.
I think we have already solidified.
Okay.
Yes, I think we do.
Cool.
Anywaysies, so if you're on the social medias, aka Instagram or TikTok, actually, I believe, yes, so you can direct message me. You can also email me, thedarlingmusicteacher@gmail.com. Those are the best ways to, say hello.
And sorry, remind me where your ad is for.
My at the Darling music teacher, because my first name literally means little darling. And I just happen to be 4'11".
And yes, as of now, you can get a hold of me through Instagram. So miss.nora_h.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter at Finny Vappa. You can find me on Instagram at Mrs.Pridmore, and you can find me at crystalpridmore.com.
And you can find me on all the socials, Insta, Twitter, also YouTube at Mr. Seligman, MrSeligman. You can also find us at CH Classroom, but also you can find these ladies and their podcast at Calling the Melody, or is there the
Calling the Melody podcast.
Calling the Melody
Podcast,
podcast? All right,
you
but
go.
back to me. So at CH Classroom for all the socials except for YouTube, it's Chaotic Harmony Classroom, and also that's where you can send us an email if you have something you want to send us. Please send us an email at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and don't forget to listen to episode 2.
Bye.
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 The Chaotic Harmony podcast is a joint project between Crystal Pridmore and Jonathan Seligman. You can find us online at chaoticharmonyclassroom.com. You can email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com and let us know what you think. Give us feedback about what you would like to hear in future episodes. We're on all the socials. Find us on facebook.com/chaoticharmonyclassroom. You can find us on Twitter at @CHClassroom, Instagram at Chaotic Harmony Classroom, and you can even find our episodes on YouTube. Chaotic Harmony is the name of our channel. Special thanks to Bryan Pridmore for his help with production and equipment. www.pridmoria.com.
Do this monkey thing.
Do
I know
it.
we're
do
gonna
it,
be
do
talking about your favorite next, SEL. So sell, buy, sell, capitalism. What? We're audio now.
it. Okay.
We're audio.
We're audio
Yep.
only.
Yep.
All
So
right.
we got the first
All
opening.
good. That's okay.
Yeah, I
all
can
good.
pick my
Start off
nose.
with the
I'm just
video.
kidding. Finally.